Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm sorry, I'm running a bit behind because Chromebook wouldn't open up for me this morning, so I had to switch over to Opera this morning. And so hopefully get some people here still to join in. But in any case, I'm going to pass on the song because I'm behind. So there you have it. Let me just get myself situated. I wanted to get online as quickly as I could. It took me a bit of time to set everything up the way I need to through a different server there. Okay, okay. Now I'm ready. I hope you are. Let's meditate. Just closing your eyes and just allowing yourself to sink into this present moment. This present moment that has everything we need to be at peace, to be in joy, to be in love. So letting go of all of the past. All the shame, the guilt, the blame, all those things, all the judgments, all the opinions, all the memories, even all the experiences that you've had. My mind used to say, if I let go of all my memories and experiences, then what is left? I learned from these things. I learned from the past. Yes, I did. I learned from my ego, and it helped me to lighten up my ego in different ways. But what's true also is that when you let go of your memories and you let go of your past experiences, you are then aligning with your eternal self that has all the memory it needs from the cosmos itself, from the universe, from God, from life. So you won't be without intelligence. You won't be without recounting the past if you need to. It just is accessing it from the truth of who you are rather than coming through the mind. So I'm inviting you, just explore with me. Just come out and play if you like, and we can go on a little adventure together this morning. An adventure about emptying out all those things that we are not. And let's just explore. What would it feel like? What would it be like to let go of all the memory of the past, all past experiences, and certainly, definitely letting go of all the shame, the guilt, and the blame, all judgments? What would that be like? What would that feel like? And for me, it feels like freedom. It feels refreshing, knowing that I don't have to remember all the stuff, knowing that I don't have to just be trapped in the past of all the guilt and shame and blame that I carry for myself and blame for others as well. And I said this recently, that I was told one time by Spirit, and I've heard master teachers say it as well. You can't possibly imagine how many people's lives you change by just awakening to the truth of who you are. And Muji has said, if you have one candle that is lit, it doesn't diminish that candle by lighting another million candles. So I'm inviting you to let go of all those things that block you from realizing that you are a beautiful light, and being that truth, being that beautiful light, you can light another million lights. And the forgiveness is instantaneous because you are not holding on to any of the past, and there's really nothing to forgive. It's just one soul recognizing another for the truth of who they are. And there's not all that garbage in between that gets in the way of us really seeing the perfection and beauty of someone else as well as ourselves. And that goes for everyone on this earth and beyond. I also invite you just to let go of all the future, because we don't need to know what the future is, and trying to find out what the future is or worrying about the future only engages the head and not the heart. And right now I invite you just to open up your heart, open up your mind. Let's open up to the infinite possibilities of who we are right now in this moment and in every moment. And sometimes I feel compelled to share how beautiful and perfect you are. And of course, your true self doesn't need to hear that because it's already there. You are that love that you've been looking for, that peace, that joy. But it can sometimes be helpful for the small self to continue to move forward in different ways. And with that said, I'm not here to boost the egoic self in any way. I'm here to help you to let go of the egoic self, the mind, all the beliefs and thoughts about who you think you are, so that you can again remember and recognize the truth of who you are. So any heaviness, any anxieties, any stress, any worries, anything out of sort whatsoever, anything that is not peace, that is not love, that is not joy, just letting go of all of it. Letting go of all of it. We try so hard out of life. But who is the we that's been trying? Who is that has been trying on your behalf? On your mind's behalf, perhaps is better said. Because my experience has led me to this place where when I am flowing with life, flowing with God, that all this trying and this effort falls away. Because I'm not resisting or fighting the experience when it's brought to me, no matter what it is. And if I'm speaking of myself, I float in and out of the ego and then back to the truth of who I am. And from the ego perspective, yes, there's a lot of trying, there's a lot of effort, and that's okay. I don't want to make that bad or wrong, because there's some people that aren't putting any effort forth whatsoever, and perhaps some effort is needed until you're able to recognize that it's not. So putting effort forth has been helpful and perhaps has gotten you to this point. But there comes a point in time where giving up the trying and the effort to experience again that freedom that we're talking about. What is that freedom? That freedom is transcending the mind, transcending the thoughts, transcending the beliefs and the feelings. That is true freedom. People talk about being free, particularly in our country, and maybe other countries do it, but they talk about being free. But if you are filled with fear, filled with blame, filled with guilt, filled with shame, filled with judgments, what kind of freedom is that? And we can be physically free as a country or even as a world. But is that freedom if we're trapped in fear, in pain, and suffering? Because if it is freedom, if that's all there is, I'm not interested in that. The only freedom I'm interested in is freedom from the mind. That's not completely true. I'd prefer not to be in a prison. But with that said, really, when we are being the truth of who we are, nothing can imprison us from peace, joy, and love. The only thing that can be imprisoned is just simply an idea of who we think we are. If we're coming from the ego, if we believe that we are trapped and that we are imprisoned physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is, then we will be imprisoned. We will be a prisoner. But it won't be because of the physical things. It will be because our belief that we are trapped and imprisoned. And so I'm inviting you just to walk with me right now. Walk with me in true freedom. Freedom from all the thoughts, all the beliefs, all the concepts and ideas of who you think you are. So I invite you just to let go of all of that right now. I mean that sincerely. We talk about this a lot. But if there's anything that you can let go of, if there's anything that you're holding on to, at least for this meditation, just feel what it feels like, just even for a moment, to completely empty out all those things that you are not. In fact, I would say just empty out everything. Because even the things that you think you are, especially those things actually. So even letting go of who you are. And why do I say that? Because you can't get rid of you. You can only get rid of an idea of you. So when I say even empty out who you are, until you fully recognize the truth of who you are, it's still just a belief and a concept that you're holding on to. But it doesn't matter, because when you fully empty yourself out, you still cannot get rid of the truth of who you are that is eternal. It has always been you. It will always be you. We set up so many boundaries in life. And I would say that certainly some boundaries have been needed in our life. And there certainly have been some. The person who is being abused, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And the first thing that we learn to do, perhaps, is to recognize, when we come to that recognition that this isn't right, we shouldn't be getting treated that way, then we become aware that that is not okay, and perhaps we set up energetic boundaries or verbal boundaries, emotional boundaries, spiritual boundaries, whatever it is, we set those up to protect and take care of ourselves, and that is good. But then there comes a point in time, what am I trying to protect myself from? What am I setting these walls and boundaries up from? Am I ready to just simply give my life completely over to life, over to God, or whatever source is yours? Am I ready just to completely let go and give this over, I'll say God for me? And to have trust and faith that everything that is being given to me is exactly what I need to help me to awaken to the truth of who I am. And so by letting go of even all your boundaries, at least for this meditation, again, we're just exploring, would you be willing to explore that? And it may feel vulnerable to let down your walls, let down your protection. Some people are so encapsulated in the walls and the protection they've built that they have this armor and this shield around them that not only keeps the bad out, but keeps the good out. But I'm just inviting you to let go of all these walls, all these boundaries, that you may sink deeper into the trust of our beloved Creator. To trust life so emphatically that we let go of all of our protections, all of our walls, all of our boundaries, and just be in this space of trust and faith. And what you will find is that there is this beautiful freedom. Again, freedom. Freedom from what? Freedom from all this effort of trying to control life or protect ourselves in different ways so that we don't get hurt. But who is it that gets hurt? Who is it that's getting hurt? Because your core self can never get hurt. Your core self can never be hurt. It can never be diminished. It can never be destroyed. It can never be controlled or taken over. I used to do energy healing work, and I would at times do whatever you want to call it, exorcisms or clearing out dark forces. Did it with myself, did it with others, did it within buildings. And I had the fear, for any of you who've watched The Exorcist before, still rated as one of the most scariest movies of all time, because it frightens us because we don't know. We don't know what is this thing, this dark force, this demonic force. Whether you believe in the devil or not, doesn't matter. I'm not here to try to persuade you or convince you. What I have discovered is that darkness can only exist as a belief from our minds. And perhaps we all go through that until we get to the point where we recognize that we are love, we are the light, that we are one with God. And that is an invincible, unstoppable force that no darkness can penetrate. So what does it mean to let go of boundaries and walls and protection? It means perhaps it may feel vulnerable to you first and foremost because you feel, your ego feels exposed and raw, defenseless. But it is surrendering deeper into the truth of who you are and trusting and having faith that only those things will be given to you which need to be experienced. You see, letting go of the boundaries and protection, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have experiences that the mind and the ego would judge as bad or wrong or even dark. I don't know what's going to happen if you let go down your walls. I just know that God will only give you that which you need. And so by letting go of it, you are putting your trust and faith in God, and you are sinking deeper into the truth of who you are. You are not resisting life in any way. And there is freedom because you come to the point where you say, Father, whatever you choose to bring me, let thy will be my will. And you don't resist anything in life. And that, to me, is freedom. Beautiful freedom to life, to all that is. And the only one that is fearful or scared of this experience is the idea of who you think you are and the beliefs that you carry within yourselves. But God is not here to pamper and just give you everything that your mind thinks it needs. God, Shiva, from a Sanskrit point of view, is here to destroy the ego and the idea of who you think you are. And perhaps that sounds harsh, but that's just a thought and that's just a belief. Ultimately, this can actually be very soft and gentle, peaceful and loving. Even though I've said these words that are abrupt and catch your attention, in the end, it's just really being soft and sweet and gentle and just allowing yourself right now, just allowing yourself just to melt into God. Melt into peace. Melt into joy. And melt into love. And to remember that you are those things. And just to melt into life itself, where there is no resistance. And if you have boundaries, quite often you will experience resistance to life. And the boundaries are set there by the mind, by the ego. And again, it's understandable why they're put there. But by releasing them and letting them go, you are surrendering into life and God and peace and joy and love. And trusting that you, the light of who you are, is bigger than anything that can ever happen to you. Because again, anything that happens to you that brings up fear or challenge is only challenging the small self. The truth of who you are can never be diminished. It can never be hurt, because it's formless. First of all, it's the formless truth of who you are, but it knows, it is, you are it. You are that love, that peace, that joy, and there's nothing that can penetrate that truth. And just bringing your awareness to your breath. And just noticing, just witnessing. And perhaps your mind has gotten busy from some of the things that I shared. Perhaps your small self feels vulnerable. And again, exposed maybe. I invite you just to witness those thoughts. Witness those beliefs. Witness those feelings. Just witness the mind and its busyness. You don't have to fight any of it. You don't have to get rid of it. You don't have to challenge it. Maybe your small self is saying, no. I am not going to get rid of any boundaries or any protection. That is there for a reason. I am not going to get rid of it. Just witness that thought. Witness the belief. You don't have to do anything with it. You don't need to correct it, believe me when I say this right now. It's very important. I am not trying to convince you of this in any form or fashion. You do not have to believe me. We are just simply on an exploration. That's all. We're just exploring. What would it be like for me to witness letting go of any boundaries or protection or walls that I built up? What would it feel like? What would it be like? You're just witnessing all of it. You're simply watching it without any judgment or the need to fix or change it. And that's what the witness does. That is you. You're just watching all of life. You're just watching all the thoughts, all the feelings. Oh, wow. I see that really brings up fears to my small self. I'm afraid that if I let go of my boundaries and my protection and my walls, that something bad might happen to me. Okay, I see that there's that thought, that belief. I see that I'm feeling, that my small self is feeling afraid. It's okay. It's okay. I see it. I'm a witness to that. It's okay. Wow, I'm really terrified of this. I don't think I can let down my protection. Who is saying that? Is that you, or is that the idea of you, or the belief about who you think you are, or a belief that you carry? Because if you're not those beliefs, then who is it that is observing those beliefs, those feelings, those thoughts? You are the witness of it all. And just coming back to being aware of your breath. And you can let the mind be as busy as it wants to be. You don't need to resist or fight the mind, and you don't need to set up boundaries with the mind. No, you are not going to say this. You are not going to do this. That is resisting, and all I'm asking you is just to witness it. Just be aware of it. And when you have a thought, a feeling, a belief, Just notice it, allow it to gently and effortlessly pass on by, because it's not you anyhow, so you don't need to hold on to it, you don't need to correct it or fix it or change it. Just witness it and come back to witnessing the breath, being aware of the breath, being consciously aware. You are loving, conscious awareness, as Ram Dass would share with us. And if your mind has drifted, just allow the thoughts to gently and effortlessly pass on by and come back to being consciously aware of your breath. And just staying in that conscious awareness. And then when the thought comes in, coming back to staying in the conscious awareness. And again, just coming back to being consciously aware of your breath, which brings you back to the present moment. That is to say, there's no past, there's no future, there's only right here, right now. And it also brings you back home to who you are, the one who is simply witnessing the thoughts, objectively witnessing them without any judgment or blame, or without any fight or struggle, just simply witnessing them and coming back to then witnessing the breath. And just coming back to being aware of your breath. And just coming back to the present moment, coming back to being aware of your breath. And we're going to begin to bring this meditation to completion. So if you'd like to continue meditating, please mute or turn your device off. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. And for those of you who are ready to finish, taking in a nice deep breath. And just making sure you're fully rooted, grounded back in your physical body. Just move your body a little bit, do a little stretching. And taking your time, and whenever you're ready, opening your eyes. Well, I was explaining at the beginning of the meditation, I started off a little late, and because let's see, I'm trying to maneuver my way around here, because I couldn't get into my Chromebook this morning, so I had to switch over to Opera, and it was asking me to do passwords, and so I think I ended up getting it going about 10:04 or so. So thank you. I'm so glad we had some people joining on Facebook and YouTube. So thank you. Tomorrow night is at 7 o'clock for meditation. You're welcome to join on Zoom or Facebook, either one. And have yourself a beautiful day. Thank you for joining. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.